More now on the conditions in the quake zone, as well as the size of the earthquake. I mean, the force of the quake, it was so huge, it created an island. For more, let's go straight to Mari Ramos. She joins us from the World Weather Center. Mari.
Yeah, Christy, this island situation, this new island is still kind of a mystery in a way when you think about it. It did appear, yes, at the time that the earthquake happened or around that same time. And we're going to talk about that in just a moment. But let me first talk a little bit about the area impacted by the quake directly, where we're seeing all of these reports of the death toll rising. The 7.7 quake, of course, the epicenter right in this area here. There's Karachi. It was felt in Karachi, but there were no reports of damage or injuries there. This area here, very difficult terrain, very complicated geology, very soft and sandy soil. What does that mean? Well, what happens is when you have this type of terrain, as opposed to, let's say, hard granite rock, when the shaking occurs, you have different effects that happen to the land, to the surface, and that the soft sandy soil actually increases the shaking, and the way it moves is called liquefaction, especially closer to water here, and it almost acts as if it would become a liquid, and that will cause more damage to any kind of structure that would be in this area. That is a huge concern, of course, for those of us watching this region closely. So that is one of the things. Our reporter mentioned the problem with the traffic or the accessibility to this area. There's a high risk of landslides that may have occurred when this intense shaking happens, so that is still going to be a concern. We don't have any rain in the forecast, so that's good news, but if we did, the risk of landslides would be even greater. So now to the business of this new land that formed. Before we talk about that, we got to kind of understand what's happening here. We have a couple of things. The tectonic plates in this area also make it very complicated. You have three big tectonic plates moving some to the north, and this one right over here, as you can see, the Eurasian plate, where that earthquake happened. This is an area that would be called a strike lip zone. In other words, the land masses move side to side. That is the kind of earthquake that happened here. Normally, you could see when you have large earthquakes change the coastline quite rapidly, like we saw with the Japan quake, for example, where the coastline near the epicenter moved almost a meter in some cases, or the Chilean quake or the Banda Aceh quake, for example. But this situation is much, much different. This earthquake did not have the mechanism, with the experts I've spoken to, Christy, to create a landmass like this, a new island. In other words, this landmass was probably not thrust up from the bottom of the ocean into this area because of the earthquake directly. What some of the possible causes that may have happened that this occurred is that maybe it has to do with an effect that they have here known for their mud volcanoes. And the mud volcanoes basically happen very quickly, and the earthquake may have triggered it, but we have had mud volcanoes and islands appear in this area when there are no earthquakes present. So we'll have to see, and of course, it may take a long time to know how exactly this island formed. Back to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Anit, for that explainer. In the meantime, just a massive earthquake, a devastating event. Mari Ramos there. Thank you.